Do you ever worry that you've offended someone when you really didn't mean to? Maybe you live in the UK and you keep getting strange reactions from people after you've said something that you thought was perfectly fine. Maybe you're just curious about how British people got their reputation for being so polite. If any of this applies to you, this video is here to help. Welcome back, or welcome to English with Katharine. This is my channel where I teach British culture and etiquette, daily natural English, and pronunciation for a British accent. Today, I'm going to help you sound more polite. So stop sounding rude and start sounding more British. Let's begin. How did we get this reputation? Because we do have one, don't we? Come on. We're considered polite due to a long history of social codes, strict social codes, and class systems. Meaning, the more polite you sounded, the higher class you were, and the better you were treated. Also, good manners and etiquette are seen as a sign of respect. This British etiquette is often passed down through many generations, from family to family to family, which has led to a very strong cultural emphasis on politeness. Politeness even in everyday interactions, and being mindful about not causing inconvenience to your fellow human beings. Also, we're famous for our stiff upper lip. Have you ever heard of that expression? Let me tell you what it means. So a stiff upper lip means that we are quite reserved. We won't give much away about how we're feeling. We'll often say everything is okay when maybe it's not, and we'll often laugh things off as if they're completely fine. This kind of reserved behaviour, I guess, can be interpreted. That is a difficult word to say. Can be interpreted as politeness. Even when expressing discomfort or disagreement, we're most likely to be quite reserved and quite neutral about it. We're famous for apologising a lot, even when it's not our fault. Apologising 3 or 4 times, back and forth sometimes. For example, if you bump into someone in the street, you say sorry even if it's not your fault, because it's British. Trust me, I am the typical British person when it comes to this. I will apologise to inanimate objects sometimes, and last week I think I even apologised to our dog, Alfie. Ah, shameless. Politeness isn't just about saying thank you, please, and sorry though. Let me show you what I mean. Making requests. We're always making requests in daily life, aren't we? Whether it's asking for directions, asking for favours, and generally asking questions. Could you is your friend. Start using it more. We use could you before we ask someone to do something for us. So instead of give me that pen, we say could you please give me that pen? Or could I please borrow that pen? Or could you please pass me that pen? Now I'm sure you don't actually say give me, but just in case you do. A classic example is when you're at the dinner table and you ask someone to pass you the salt. We say, could you pass me the salt, please? Why do we do this? Why don't we just say it directly? That would be very clear, right? Wouldn't it? Because we like to use a softer way of asking someone to help us. People are not obligated to help you. They don't have to. But if you ask them nicely, they're more likely to want to. Pro tip, if you want to sound even more polite, add the word possibly. Could you possibly do something for me? Now that's for a slightly bigger favour than asking someone to pass you the salt or asking someone if you can borrow a pen. For example, could you possibly lend me £5? I've run out of cash and I really need it for the car park, or something like that, if you're with a friend. That's a little bit more of an ask than just passing the salt, right? Or could we possibly start the meeting a little bit later? I'm running late, I'm so sorry. That is a bit more of a favour to ask. Another option, guys, because we love choice here. Would you mind? Would you mind? This is another phrase that will come in very handy for you all when it comes to sounding polite. Again, we use this before we ask someone to do something. For example, would you mind opening that window? I'm really hot. Don't forget, grammatically, this is a bit different to could you. We have to use the gerund form, so in the ing word that follows would you mind. So would you mind opening? It's just a lovely, considerate way to soften the blow of asking someone to use their precious time to help you. For even bigger favours to ask, we have another construction that we use. I was wondering. Or I was just wondering. Using the word just is quite clever here. What it does is it makes out that whatever you're going to ask is very, very simple. It won't take long. It can be a little bit misleading because maybe the favour is quite a big one. But adding the word just makes it sound very simple and not very time consuming. It also makes the process of wondering, which is thinking, very innocent. I was just wondering. I'm so innocent. I couldn't possibly be asking anything that big from you. My landlady, who lives opposite us, asked me a favour last week. By the way, she is so demure, which is a lovely word. She's so eloquent and elegant. Katharine, I was just wondering if you could possibly walk Mickey while I'm away in Cornwall looking after my dad. He'll only need 2 walks a day, around noon and at dusk. Now, just to give you some background information on this favour, Mickey is a crazy dog. Maybe you've heard him howling in a few of my videos in the past. He's just wild. He was a rescue dog from Lisbon, and there are rumours that he was part of some kind of mafia there. So asking me to walk this wild animal is actually quite a big favour. But guess what? I said yes. Because she asked so politely. Oh, when you get a chance. Oh, when you get a chance, could you just... This means asking someone to do something when they have the availability or the opportunity. Tom, when you get a chance, could you water the plant for me? Another option. If you're not too busy, could you grab the parcel on the bench, please? Again, it's a really soft way to ask someone to do something for you, because maybe they are really busy and you're asking them to do something in the middle of what they're doing. So if you say, if you're not too busy, that really helps. Just a quick question. Ooh, just a quick question. This is a great one if you want to ask a question, even if it's a long question, we still use this. Just a quick question, what's the meaning of life? It tends to be something like, what colour is your car? Or something that doesn't require much time to answer. Everyone, I forgot to mention this in the intro, but we have a fun fact about the UK today. So this fact is actually about London. Another lovely fact about London. Did you know that London has over 170 museums, with 11 national museums, including the British Museum? I love this fact because part of the reason I love London is because of the museums. I love knowing that you can just walk into a museum for free and people can educate their children and their families about history and the past. I love the Natural History Museum in London. There's a massive whale. I'm going to put some museum suggestions in the description box, so if you ever come to London, or if you live in London, you can check out a few of them. As I've just told you, there are a lot, way more than you're probably aware of. I hope you're feeling suitably demure now after that video and ready to go out into society and be polite. I'm sure you're already very polite. This is why learning about culture is really interesting and important when you're learning a language, because etiquette can be very confusing, complicated, and it's really worth learning about, and it can be really fun as well. Thank you so much for watching, honestly, I'm so grateful. I will see you next week, next Wednesday to be precise. Bye!